Well, listeners, I am excited. Well, listeners as well as viewers, I'm excited because I've got Tracy McCubbin, and she is the Los Angeles premier organizing, decluttering expert guru, and also the author of one of my favorite organizing books. See, I got a copy. See, now you got to get one too. So, Tracy, thank you so much for just taking time out of your schedule to be here. I'm excited to dive in the conversation with you. So, of course, my first one is what made you decide to write this book? Because when I first opened it up, I read the first chapter. Okay, I started getting rid of stuff. I read the second one. I'm like, I don't believe this. I'm organized. I got to get rid of stuff. But it's really making me rethink all the stuff that I have in my life and how I need to let it go. So, what made you decide to write this book?
Oh, it's such a good question. And thank you for having me on. I always love talking to you. So I think, I've been doing this for what feels like, since the dawn of time for 15 years. And, you have those clients that they call you and they're like, well, we need a tune up or we got back. And then the pandemic hit and I was driving around LA. I saw those packages. I saw what was happening on people's doorsteps. I knew what was happening at my own house. And I was like, there's something going on here. And then I started to get the calls. Hey, remember all that decluttering? Well, I bought it all again and then some. And I was like, what's the correlation? Like, how can we talk about decluttering and not talk about shopping? Why have we never put this through line together? We can declutter all we want, but if we're still buying, then it doesn't matter. And then I started to really think, like, why do we buy? What does the shopping give us? And I started to see these themes as I talked to people. They were feeling lonely. They didn't understand their true purpose. They were sort of shopping. And the way that it came to me sort of in a vision, it was like, I imagined this as a whole people. And then we have this little part of us missing, like a little puzzle piece. And we're trying to magnetize the stuff to fill it. I want love in my life. So if I buy the perfect date outfits, then I'll meet them and we'll go on a date. And, or I feel, bad about getting older. And so I'm going to buy the anti-aging cream. And it's not working. It's not working because that's not where it is. The true satisfaction, the true connection, the true purpose comes from being true to ourselves, helping other people, counting our blessings, practicing our faith, whatever that looks like to us. That's where it comes from. And if we can get good with that, then the shopping's the icing on the cake. But if we think the shopping, you've been doing this longer than I have. The stuff has never fixed anybody.
And you're so true. It's so true. But and also I just love because in addition to the book, just your online presence is like inspires me. It's like, why am I holding on to that baseball cap? Why? Why am and of course I just have to let you know, Tracy, that sometimes you give some really good tips that I have to share them with clients. But I do let them know that I'm like, this is an organizer that I truly love and she inspires me. So this is a great tip that you can use. I just want to let you know that
I love
just
that. I love
just in
that.
case, all of a sudden you hear a tip and you're like, wait a minute. So
No, oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. And that was the thing also with the online presence and having that access. You know, Again, this. It's like everybody doesn't have the luxury to hire one of us. Everybody doesn't have the luxury of a week of us. So how can we make it so that you can do this? You can tackle. The great thing is I've gotten so many messages from people and they're like, I started doing your 5-minute decluttering and I've done my whole house. And I didn't even really pay attention, right? Many hands make light work. Like you tackle a little corner, and all of a sudden it's not this big daunting. And I think we have to be realistic. everybody on social media makes it look like it's so easy, and it's like it's not that easy.
Yeah, because I mean, your book inspired me because I'm like, because that's like my bedtime read. So I'm reading it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, why am I holding on to this? So then I get rid of that. And then I read another chapter, and it's like, wow, okay, I need to get rid of this too because I need to move on from some things in my life. So let me let go. Which
Yeah.
takes me to my next question, Tracy. So, like, we're in a new year, and that's at the top of everybody's list, get organized. And of course, it didn't get organized last year. So they're like, this is going to be the year. But
Uh-huh.
really, what are some of the things we truly need to purge from our lives to make space for happiness? Because I see all the things you're talking about. I said, oh, Tracy's talking about them deep subjects and tough subjects, like, you're no longer in a relationship, get rid of this. Or even the one that was really inspiring to me is when you come together as a couple, you got your stuff, he's got his stuff, and everybody's bringing their stuff together. Come on, have a conversation. Do you really need all this stuff? So,
And
but
I
what
think,
is,
Janet, but that's such the important point, and it's like it's time for us to get honest. Like it's time for us to have conversations. And Brene Brown says, "As clear as kind," um, and say I was just talking about this with somebody. The idea of gift giving, like if you buy a bunch of gifts for people and you have to put them on a credit card and you can't afford them, that's not a gift. So what's wrong with saying to somebody, hey, we had a tough year financially. We had to put a roof on the house. Our car broke down. We got a kid who needs braces, X, Y, and Z. We're not gift giving this year and we don't expect anything. Like, what's wrong with being honest? You and I had a phone conversation a couple months ago because I called you about some help, and you had just been, I think you just went to DC to see your girlfriends to celebrate your birthday and go to the movies, and it was you were so full of joy, and you didn't mention buying a single thing. You were like, I saw my girls, we had meals, we saw the movie, we were together. You didn't say like, and then we bought 8 cute blouses. You were like, we got to sit down and break bread and
mm,
be together. And we need to start understanding that that's what's missing. We're missing being connected to people. We're missing being of service to people. We're missing being full of gratitude. You're not going to find gratitude at TJ Maxx. Like
and
you're just not.
And you're so right because I still remember Thanksgiving few years back when we everybody's gathered around and saying what they're thankful for. And my godson at the time, he was still a teenager. He said, "I'm thankful for experiences, the experience my grandparents give me, Aunt Janet give me." I'm like, wow. I'm like, really? And I was just like so elated for the rest of the day. But it's just amazing, even the impact we can have on our children.
Yeah, and I think that I do this little exercise in the book where have you imagine that a person that has passed comes back for the day, and for me, I think of my grandmother, and I immediately start crying. There's no world if I had my grandmother for a day. There's no world where I'd be like, let's go to the mall, let's go shopping. I'd be like, I'm going to cook you food. I want you to teach me that recipe that I forgot to write down. I want to ask you questions I didn't ask you. And when you do it that way, you're like, oh, right. I'm not looking for the stuff. I'm not looking for the stuff.
And that is so true. That is so true. So, with letting go of things, what are maybe a few strategies? Because you give like tons of strategies. I mean, I was even amazed with the one where you had the dog and you were like, "This is the way you saw it." I'm like, I don't even have a pet, but that's a great tip. So, what are some strategies for people and who feel like, okay, I'm overwhelmed, but I want to get organized. I want to make room for happiness in the new year. What can I do?
So the first step, which is a little bit of the woo-woo step, is getting clear on why you want to get organized. Set your intention and also this is very important. I don't want your intention to be, I'm lazy, I'm a bad housekeeper. That's not an intention. That's beating yourself up. Why do you want to get organized? I want to get out of the house quicker in the morning and not have a big fight with my kids. I want to sleep better at night. I just want peace. I just want some space. Once you pick your positive why you're doing it, that's going to carry you through. And the next one is be honest about how much time you actually have. Right? People, we know this. We get this phone call all the time. I pulled everything out of my garage and now it's just in my backyard. Can you come help me?
Mm-hmm. And it's so true. Yeah, because one time I got a call from somebody in late October. They wanted to get their entire three-story house organized by the new year. And I asked her, I said, so who's hosting the holiday parties? Me. Well, who's got to do the cooking? Me. And you've got to do all the cleaning. I said, okay, so let's take all of those days. And I said, and you work a 9 to 5.
Right.
So,
And
mm-hmm.
the idea too, that like the idea that you're going to work a 9 to 5, which is really an 8 to 6, right? If you
That's
work
true.
9 to 5, it's 8 to 6, that you're
That's
going to
true.
come home at 6 o'clock at night and then you're going to start decluttering and organizing.
Mm-hmm.
No. So that's why I started that's why I started the videos. Break it down into bite-sized tasks. I can do baseball caps today. I can do coffee mugs today. Like, be honest. Like, we think, and especially as women, we think we can do it all and we beat ourselves up when we can't. And I'm like, be realistic about how much time you have. And so if you can schedule it in, like be intentful with your time management, schedule it in and do it in little chunks, because once it's like you do one little area and then you do the next and then you do the next and then you're like, oh, I've done my whole house. That's amazing. So
Mm.
I think for people it's being intentful and being realistic about your time.
And you're right about that, Tracy, because when I shared with a friend how I was doing my home, and I said I have it grouped. I said I'm doing living room and office because that's one big room. Then I'm going to do bath and bed, and then I'll do kitchen and dining room. And I said I've got 30 days to do it. She's like, "You're giving yourself that long?" I said, "Yes." I
Yeah.
said because I'm going to do a little bit each weekend, and I'll have it done. She's like, "That makes so much sense." So you're right. The time thing is crucial. Which
It's
takes me to another question about time, Tracy.
yes,
So, how
ma'am.
do you do it? Like, how do you stay organized? Because you are, of course, you've got your clients, you've got the book, you're active in the community, you've got your family. And how do you just like stay organized?
So it's a couple things. One, I'm very aware of how much stuff I have. We have the size house that we have. We're not moving anytime soon. We're pretty full over here, so we're not going to really add any more stuff. Like, this is the size of my closet. So it's managing how much stuff comes in. And then it's a weekly decluttering practice. And I think this is interesting. You know, um, decluttering, organizing, and cleaning are three separate tasks.
Mm-hmm,
And I
mm-hmm,
think sometimes people think that you do them all at one time. It's like, no, decluttering is one thing. Organizing, putting it away. Do you need a bin? Where does it live? That's the next task. And then cleaning is cleaning. So I
mm-hmm.
try on Sundays. That's sort of my day. I like to Saturdays, but Sunday afternoons with footballs on at our house, like go around and return things to their proper homes, stay on top of it. So it's about a regular decluttering and organizing practice because look, it's like exercise. It's really hard to get back, but if you've been doing it consistently, you can keep doing it. And that's, making it a regular practice.
Mm-mm-mm. Well, Tracy, I could talk to you for days. Like, okay, and then I keep thinking, so when is the book signing coming? Because then I'll have to be a groupie and make my way to the front of the line. I'm like, well, I know her. I'm sorry, excuse me.
I'm sorry. Oh, please, I'm coming to Philadelphia. I'm staying at your house. So, and but
So,
can I say something else too? And I think this is really important. I think you're going to agree with this. Also, understanding maybe you need help. Like maybe if getting decluttered and organized is a goal, you might need help.
that's
If you
true.
can afford to hire an organizer, fantastic. Find a family member, a friend. Sometimes we all need help, and there is no shame in that.
And that is so true. And that is true. And you do because you need somebody to give you that little push. Because I have one client and, we meet monthly and every month she's like, oh, Janet, it's raining outside. It's raining too hard for you to come. I says, no, it's not. I'll be there at 12.
Yep. Yeah. But don't you feel like a lot of the times what we do as professional organizers is just give people permission?
And that's what it is. It's like you don't really need this. You haven't worn this t-shirt since 8th grade.
Yeah.
I know the guy gave it to you, but you saw each other last in 8th grade. So it's time to let it go. And you're right. You're
Yes,
right.
exactly.
But
Those
you know, Tracy, you know.
yeah, those
You,
days are over. Those, and I think that's the other really important thing is, we really do want to honor history and memories and where we've come from and our family's experiences. And, we want to honor that, but we also want to look forward. What are the changes we're going to make our lives and the people around us better? How can we be better today? And sometimes when you keep so much of the stuff from the past, you're stuck. You're just looking backwards.
and you're so right, because you don't allow yourself to have room for just new things. And it doesn't necessarily have to be things. It could be an experience. It could be actually a person. Because I shared with a friend, I says, okay, you have to deal with this stuff, because say you want to date. Now say if he just comes over and you're not quite ready, because that happens to all of us.
Yep.
Where is he going to sit down? He has no place in this house to sit down.
Yep.
She's like, well, you don't have to be that harsh. I said, well, I'm your friend and
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. So, and
No,
sometimes,
I did work with a client, and she had separated and was looking to start dating, and I was like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through your closet, and you're gonna tell me that
hmm
would you feel cute on a date in that? Like, and she was like, oh no, I don't feel cute in this. I don't feel. Then I'm like, why are you keeping it? If you don't feel cute in it, why are you keeping it? Like, I want you to feel cute
and that's
and,
true.
and everything. And exactly what you said, I did this post, and it resonated with so many people. I was like, are you hiding behind your clutter?
Mhm.
Are you keeping it from showing up? Is your house in a state because you're not, so nobody comes over? Like, what are you hiding from? How are you, I call it your emotional support clutter. Like, what are you
Mm.
hiding from that's having you not show up? Your light, we need you right now. We need everybody right now. We're in troubling times, and we need everybody to be their best selves.
And
We
that's true.
need it. We need to make big changes in everything. And so we
hmm
all need to show up. So
hmm
what's keeping you from showing up right now?
Wow, Tracy. Okay. So how can people connect with you and of course, work with you? Of course, get this fabulous book right here. My gosh. Oh, this is so
So
good.
yeah, Instagram's my big platform at Tracy_McCubbin. I do these 5-minute decluttering challenges that are so fun. My website, TracyMcCubbin.com. Come over. I've got a newsletter. I don't clutter your inbox. And then yeah, those are the kind of the biggest places to find me. And then I think in the new year I'm going to be doing a book tour, so I will be on your doorstep, ma'am.
Oh,
You're stuck.
oh, I'm excited. You got to let me know. You have to let me know. And of course, I will have all of Tracy's information, ways you can connect with her. They will be listed. Links will be listed below. Well, Tracy, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. I'm so grateful for you, Janet. Thank you. Thank you.